Let me start with a simple question. What's the one thing you can do today that your future self will thank you for? I found my answer in 3 rules that not only shape my decisions, but transform my entire life. The first rule is focus on faith. Life is unpredictable. And when the storms come, and trust me, you need an anchor. Faith isn't just about religion, it's about believing in something greater than yourself. It's about trust. There were times in my life when I faced rejection, uncertainty, and fear. In those moments, I leaned on my faith. It gave me direction when I couldn't see the road ahead. The second rule is discipline over dreams. Dreams are great, but discipline makes them real. I've seen so many people with incredible talent, but talent without discipline is like a car without fuel going nowhere. For me, discipline wasn't just a habit, it was a mindset. I had to wake up every day and choose to grind, choose to work, even when it was uncomfortable. And finally, the third rule, lift others as you climb. Success means nothing if you're the only one enjoying it. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Every milestone I've reached has been sweeter because I've had the chance to bring others along the way. Helping others doesn't take away from your success, it multiplies it. These rules aren't just words to live by, they're tools to survive and thrive. I've fallen, I've failed, but I've never forgotten to get back up. Why? Because these rules taught me to face fear, embrace gratitude, and take action. As I stand here today, I'm not here to tell you that my journey has been perfect. I'm here to tell you it's been worth it. These rules didn't just change my life, they saved it. And if you carry them with you, they just might do the same for you. Faith is the foundation upon which I've built my life, and it's not just a word or a fleeting feeling, it's a conviction, a source of strength, and a guide. Faith means believing in something greater than yourself, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's the quiet voice inside you that says, keep going, when every logical part of you is screaming to stop. There were moments in my life when I felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff, staring into uncertainty. I faced rejection, failure, and loss, and there were times when it seemed like no amount of effort could fix what was broken. But in those moments, faith became my anchor. Faith reminded me that the struggle I was enduring wasn't permanent. The valley I was walking through was a part of the journey, not the destination. Faith isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's a whisper, a feeling, a decision to trust that the work you're putting in will bear fruit, even if you don't see results right away. It's about having the patience to plant the seeds and the courage to wait for the harvest no matter how long it takes. For me, faith also meant surrendering control, not in a way that made me passive, but in a way that allowed me to focus on what I could control while letting go of what I couldn't. It taught me humility, the realization that I don't have to have all the answers. And honestly, that realization was freeing. Faith is also what fuels perseverance. When you believe in something greater, you find the strength to keep going. There were times when I had to work harder than I thought I could, stay up later than I wanted, and keep pushing when the odds were stacked against me. It was faith that told me those efforts were worth it, that the reward was coming even if I couldn't see it yet. And faith isn't just personal, it's collective. It's about believing in others too. Believing that people can change, that kindness matters, and that lifting someone else up doesn't diminish your own light. Faith builds communities and creates connections that endure even in the toughest times. Faith doesn't promise an easy path, but it offers something even better, hope. It's the belief that no matter how dark the night gets, morning is always coming. It's the strength to move forward when the road is rough. And it's the wisdom to know that every step, no matter how small, matters. If I've learned anything, it's that faith is a choice we make every day. It's the choice to trust, to believe, and to act not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Faith changed my life because it taught me to look beyond the immediate and see the bigger picture. And when you walk through life with that kind of vision, nothing is impossible. Dreams are powerful. They inspire us, give us direction, and fuel our ambition. But dreams alone are not enough. They're like a beautiful map. It might show you where you want to go, but it won't move your feet. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the engine that transforms dreams from ideas into reality. It's the hard truth that no amount of wishing or hoping will build the future you want unless you put in the work. When I talk about discipline, I'm not just talking about waking up early or following a strict schedule, although those are important. I'm talking about a mindset. A daily commitment to do what needs to be done, even when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or downright exhausting. Discipline is about showing up when you don't feel like it, pushing through when every fiber of your being wants to quit, and staying focused when distractions are everywhere. There were times in my life when the dream felt too big, too far out of reach. I've stood in moments where the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be seemed impossible to close. But discipline taught me to stop staring at the distance and focus on the next step. Because that's what discipline is. It's not about taking huge leaps. It's about consistent, deliberate action one day at a time. Discipline also means saying no to the things that don't align with your goals. It's easy to get sidetracked by temptations or to settle for what's comfortable instead of pushing for what's possible. Discipline requires sacrifice, giving up short-term pleasures for long-term rewards. It's skipping the party to study, choosing the gym over the couch, or putting in the extra hours when no one is watching. But here's the thing, discipline isn't just about sacrifice, it's also about freedom. It might sound like a contradiction, but the more disciplined you are, the more control you have over your life. When you master discipline, you're no longer at the mercy of your impulses or circumstances. You're driving the car, not just riding along as a passenger. The truth is, discipline isn't glamorous. It's not the part of success that gets highlighted in movies or motivational speeches. It's early mornings, late nights, and lights, and a lot of uncelebrated effort. It's doing the work when there's no audience, no applause, and no immediate payoff. But that's also where the magic happens, because discipline builds character, resilience, and strength. It prepares you for the moment when the opportunity finally arrives so that when it does, you're ready. And don't get me wrong, discipline isn't about being perfect. It's not about never failing or slipping up. It's about getting back on track when you do. It's about recognizing that progress isn't always linear, but as long as you keep moving forward, you're winning. If dreams are the destination, discipline is the road. And the road isn't always smooth. It will test you, challenge you, and force you to grow in ways you never imagined. But when you look back, you'll realize that the work, the grind, the discipline that was the part that mattered most. Because dreams may inspire you, but discipline will define you. Success, at its core, is never a solo journey. No matter how much we achieve on our own, the true measure of success lies in how we use our position, our influence, and our resources to uplift others. Life isn't a race to the top where only one person wins a journey, where the most meaningful victories come when we bring others along with us. The principle of lifting others as you climb isn't just an act of generosity, it's a responsibility and an investment in something greater than individual achievement. Throughout my life, I've learned that no matter how hard I've worked, I didn't get to where I am entirely on my own. Someone at some point took a chance on me, guided me, or offered me an opportunity when I needed it most. A teacher, a mentor, a family member, they all extended a hand when I couldn't yet stand on my own. Their belief in me, their willingness to share their knowledge or open a door made all the difference. And that taught me something fundamental. Success isn't meant to be hoarded, it's meant to be shared. When you lift others, you create a ripple effect. The act of helping one person can inspire them to help another and then another. This cycle of empowerment doesn't just change individuals, it transforms communities. It's the realization that every one of us has something to offer. Whether it's time, wisdom, encouragement, or a simple opportunity, those small gestures can have a massive impact. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone is to let them see their own potential through your eyes. Lifting others doesn't diminish your own success. In fact, it magnifies it. When you create opportunities for others, you're not just adding value to their lives, you're enriching your own. Seeing someone else achieve their goals, knowing you played even a small part in their journey, is one of the most rewarding experiences life has to offer. Success feels different when it's shared. It becomes more meaningful, more lasting, and more fulfilling. But lifting others as you climb also requires humility. It's a reminder that no matter how far we go, we're never too important to give back. It's about looking around, not just ahead, and recognizing that there's always someone who could use a hand, a word of encouragement, or a chance to prove themselves. It's understanding that leadership isn't about standing above others, it's about standing with them. Sometimes lifting others means challenging the systems and barriers that hold people back. It means advocating for equity and fairness, using your voice to speak for those who may not yet have the platform to speak for themselves. It's about creating opportunities that didn't exist before, opening doors that were once closed, and ensuring that the climb isn't just possible for a select few, but accessible to anyone willing to make the journey. And here's the thing, lifting others isn't always about grand gestures. It's in the small, everyday acts. It's in the words of encouragement you offer to a colleague, the advice you share with someone just starting out, or the time you take to listen when someone needs it. These moments, though they may seem minor, can change the trajectory of someone's life. At its heart, lifting others as you climb is about legacy. What do you want to leave behind? For me, it's not about titles, accolades, or material achievements. It's about the people whose lives I've touched, the opportunities I've created, and the inspiration I've sparked. Because at the end of the day, the true measure of success isn't what you've achieved for yourself, it's what you've done for others. Overcoming fear doesn't mean eliminating it. Fear will never fully disappear, and that's okay. In fact, fear can be a sign that you're on the right path. If your dreams don't scare you, they're probably not big enough. Fear is a natural response to stepping into the unknown, to doing something that matters. It's your mind's way of telling you that what you're about to do is significant. For me, overcoming fear has always started with acknowledging it. Pretending it isn't there only gives it more power. When you name your fear, when you say out loud, I'm afraid of failing, or I'm afraid I'm not good enough, you take the first step toward disarming it. Fear thrives in secrecy in the dark corners of our minds, but when you shine a light on it, you begin to take back control. The next step is action. Fear wants you to stay still, to hesitate, to retreat. The antidote is movement. Take a step no matter how small toward the thing that scares you. If you're afraid of speaking in public, volunteer to give a presentation at work. If you're afraid of failure, try something new and allow yourself to be a beginner. Each step you take weakens fear's grip. It shows you that fear's power is often just an illusion, a shadow that dissipates when you move toward it. One of the most profound lessons I've learned is that fear is temporary, but regret lasts far longer. I'd rather face the discomfort of fear today than live with the regret of never trying. Fear might make your heart race and your hands tremble, but regret stays with you. It whispers, what if, long after the moment has passed. There have been moments in my life where fear nearly stopped me. I've hesitated, second-guessed myself, and even considered walking away from opportunities that felt too big or too risky. But every time I've pushed through, I've come out stronger, more confident, and more prepared for the next challenge. The truth is, fear doesn't diminish with avoidance, it grows. But when you confront it, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. Overcoming fear also means embracing failure. Fear and failure are often intertwined, but failure isn't the end, it's a stepping stone. Every successful person has failed, and not just once. They've failed repeatedly and used those failures as fuel to keep going. Failure isn't a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of your willingness to try. Lastly, overcoming fear is about trusting yourself in the process. Trust that even if you stumble, you'll find your footing again. Trust that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. Fear will try to convince you otherwise, but the truth is, you're stronger than you think. You've already survived moments you thought you wouldn't, overcome challenges you thought were insurmountable, and grown in ways you never imagined. Fear is inevitable, but it doesn't have to define you. Every time you face it, you rewrite the story it tries to tell. You take a step closer to your goals, your potential, and the life you were meant to live. Because on the other side of fear is freedom, the freedom to grow, to achieve, and to become the best version of yourself. Failure is one of life's most demanding teachers, but it is also one of the most transformative. It's a concept that often carries a stigma, something we're taught to avoid, fear, or be ashamed of. But the truth is, failure is inevitable if you're striving for growth, progress, and success. The real question isn't whether you'll fail, it's how you'll respond when you do. Every failure holds a lesson, a hidden opportunity for growth, and a chance to refine your approach. The first step to learning from failure is changing how you perceive it. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a crucial part of the journey. It's not the end of the road, but a signpost along the way, reminding you to pause, reflect, and adjust. When I think about the times I've failed, they weren't easy. Failure comes with disappointment, frustration, and sometimes even embarrassment. It can feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders and you've let yourself and others down. But what I've come to realize is that those moments of failure weren't final, they were foundational. Each one built something in me: resilience, humility, and the wisdom to try again with a clearer perspective. Failure forces you to confront your weaknesses and blind spots, areas you might not have been willing to acknowledge otherwise. It teaches you that preparation matters, that effort isn't always enough on its own, and that there's always room for improvement. These lessons can be painful, but they're also invaluable. They make you sharper, more strategic, and better equipped for the challenges ahead. One of the most important lessons failure has taught me is patience. We live in a world that celebrates instant success, but real lasting success often takes time, effort, and yes, failure. It's through the process of failing, learning, and trying again that we build the character and skills necessary for long-term achievement. Each setback is a reminder that the journey matters just as much as the destination. Failure also teaches empathy. When you've struggled and fallen short, you're better able to understand and support others who are going through the same. It humbles you and reminds you that nobody is perfect. This humility isn't a weakness, it's a strength that fosters connection, trust, and collaboration. Another powerful lesson from failure is adaptability. Life rarely goes according to plan, and failure often arises from unexpected circumstances or missteps. But each failure is a chance to pivot, to try a new approach, or to discover a path you hadn't considered before. Some of the greatest innovations and successes in history were born out of failure. Those moments of falling short became the catalyst for breakthroughs. Failure also builds courage. Each time you fail and get back up, you prove to yourself that you can withstand the discomfort, disappointment, and uncertainty that comes with taking risks. This resilience becomes a part of who you are, giving you the strength to take on even bigger challenges in the future. To truly learn from failure, you have to embrace self-reflection. Ask yourself what went wrong. What could I have done differently? What did this experience teach me about myself, my approach, or my priorities? The answers to these questions are the keys to growth, but it's equally important to be kind to yourself in this process. Failure doesn't define your worth, it's simply a moment in your story. One of the greatest lessons failure has taught me is that success is sweeter when it's hard-earned. The struggles, the setbacks, and the lessons along the way make the triumphs even more meaningful. They remind you that success isn't just about the outcome, it's about the person you become in the process. Ultimately, failure is a teacher, a stepping stone, and most importantly, a reminder that you're trying. To fail means you have the courage to take a risk, to pursue a goal, or to step outside your comfort zone. And that courage, in and of itself, is a victory. Failure isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace, learn from, and use as fuel to propel you forward. Because each failure, no matter how difficult, brings you one step closer to the person you're meant to be. Gratitude is often overlooked in the pursuit of success, seen as something nice but not essential. But what I've come to understand is that gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a driving force. It's a perspective that can transform how we approach challenges, opportunities, and even setbacks. Gratitude, when fully embraced, becomes a source of energy, resilience, and clarity that fuels every step of the journey. At its core, gratitude shifts your focus. In a world that constantly pushes us to want more, achieve more, and be more, it's easy to get lost in what we don't have. Gratitude brings us back to what we do have. It reminds us of the blessings we often take for granted, the people who support us, the opportunities we've been given, and even the challenges that have shaped us. When you start from a place of gratitude, you see the abundance in your life rather than the lack. Gratitude is especially powerful in moments of struggle. It's easy to feel thankful when things are going well, but when life gets hard, gratitude can feel distant or even impossible. Yet it's in those moments that gratitude becomes most important. When I face setbacks or failures, taking a moment to reflect on what I still had, whether it was my health, my family, or simply another chance to try help me keep going. Gratitude doesn't erase pain or difficulty, but it provides perspective. It reminds you that even in the darkest times, there is light to be found. Gratitude also fuels relationships. Success is rarely a solo endeavor, and the people who stand beside us, mentors, colleagues, friends, and family, play a critical role in our journey. Expressing gratitude strengthens these connections, showing others that their efforts, encouragement, and presence are valued. When you take the time to say thank you, you create a bond that goes beyond the surface. You let people know they matter. And that's a powerful thing. But gratitude isn't just about looking outward, it's also about looking inward. It's about recognizing the progress you've made and celebrating your own efforts. Too often we move from one goal to the next without pausing to appreciate how far we've come. Gratitude allows you to acknowledge your growth, to honor the work you've put in, and to fuel your motivation to keep going. It's a reminder that every step, no matter how small, is worth celebrating. Gratitude also enhances resilience. When you focus on what you're grateful for, it's harder to be consumed by negativity. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to see the good alongside the bad. It's a mindset that helps you bounce back from adversity because it keeps you anchored in hope and positivity. In my life, gratitude has been the key to staying grounded. Success can be fleeting and the climb can be exhausting, but gratitude keeps you connected to what truly matters. It's a reminder that success isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey, the people you meet along the way, and the lessons you learn. Gratitude turns ordinary moments into extraordinary ones and helps you find joy even in the smallest victories. And gratitude is a practice. It's not something that just happens, it's something you cultivate. Whether it's writing down 3 things you're thankful for each day, taking a moment to reflect before bed, or simply pausing to appreciate the present moment, these small acts of gratitude build a mindset that can carry you through life's ups and downs. Most importantly, gratitude fuels purpose. When you're grateful for what you have, you're more inspired to give back, to make a difference, and to use your success to help others. Gratitude turns ambition into service and success into significance. It reminds you that everything you've achieved is part of something bigger than yourself. Gratitude isn't just a nice idea, it's a powerful tool. It transforms challenges into opportunities, strengthens relationships, and keeps you focused on what truly matters. It's the fuel that keeps the fire burning, the force that keeps you moving forward, and the perspective that turns every step of the journey into a gift. When gratitude becomes your foundation, success becomes not just an achievement, but a celebration of all the good that brought you there. A vision without action is like a seed that's never planted. No matter how perfect the seed is, no matter how much potential it holds, it will never grow into the tree it could become unless it's put into the soil, watered, and nurtured. Action is the process of planting that seed, tending to it daily and persevering through the storms that inevitably come. Without action, vision remains dormant, filled with potential, but devoid of progress. Action doesn't have to be monumental to matter. It can start with the smallest step, a phone call, a conversation, an hour spent learning a new skill. Those seemingly minor efforts, when repeated consistently, build momentum. Action creates movement, and movement creates opportunities that a static vision alone could never produce. Even when you're unsure of the exact path, taking a step forward brings clarity. It's often in the doing that the way becomes clear. Vision is about seeing the big picture, but action forces you to confront the details. A grand idea may feel inspiring, but the real work lies in the logistics, the daily grind of figuring out how to bring that idea to life. This is where many people falter. They fall in love with the idea of success, but shy away from the effort it requires. Vision is glamorous, but action is gritty. It's waking up early, staying up late, and putting in the hours when no one is watching. Action also requires discipline, especially when the excitement of the vision fades and the work becomes hard. There will be days when progress feels slow, when doubts creep in, and when giving up seems easier than pressing on. But action isn't about instant gratification, it's about persistence. It's about showing up again and again and again, even when the results aren't immediate, because you believe in the vision you're working toward. Another truth about action is that it invites failure, and that's a good thing. Vision without action feels safe because it exists in the realm of possibility, untouched by reality. But when you take action, you risk falling short, making mistakes, or facing rejection. These are not setbacks, they're stepping stones. Each failure teaches you something valuable, refines your approach, and brings you closer to your goal. Without action, there's no failure, but there's also no growth. Action also turns your vision into something tangible for others to see and believe in. A vision in your mind is personal, it's yours alone. But when you take steps to bring it to life, you inspire others to join you, support you, or even create visions of their own. Action has a ripple effect. It doesn't just change your life, it has the power to change the lives of those around you. It's also important to remember that action and vision are partners, not opposites. A vision without action is empty, but action without vision is aimless. The two must work together. Your vision gives your actions purpose and direction, while your actions give your vision substance, prance, and progress. One fuels the other in a continuous cycle. Ultimately, what separates dreamers from achievers is action. Everyone has ideas, aspirations, and visions, but not everyone is willing to do the work to make them real. Action is what defines commitment. It's the proof that you're serious about the vision you claim to hold. It's the difference between saying, I want to write a book, and sitting down to write the first page. It's the difference between envisioning a healthier life and lacing up your shoes to take the first step. In the end, a vision without action is nothing more than a fantasy. It may feel good to imagine what could be, but it's action that makes it real. So if you have a vision, take the first step. Then take the next and the next, and then build momentum. Embrace the effort and trust the process. Because it's not enough to see the future you want, you have to work for it. Every action we take sends out ripples, like a stone dropped into a still pond. The effects of these ripples are often invisible to us at first, but they travel far beyond where we stand, touching lives and influencing outcomes in ways we can't always predict. This interconnectedness is what makes the ripple effect so powerful. It reminds us that our choices, whether big or small, carry weight and can create a profound impact on the world around us. The ripple effect begins with a single act. It might be something seemingly insignificant, a kind word, a small gesture, or a moment of generosity. But that single act can set off a chain reaction. A word of encouragement you offer to someone feeling low might inspire them to take on a challenge they were about to give up on. That challenge might lead them to an achievement that changes their life or even the lives of others. What started as one ripple from you becomes a wave of change through them. One of the most striking things about the ripple effect is its unpredictability. You don't always see the full impact of what you do. Sometimes it's a fleeting interaction, a smile to a stranger, holding a door open, or offering a listening ear that sparks something greater. These small moments can create ripples that reach further than you'll ever know. The stranger you smile that might pass that positivity on to someone else, creating a chain of goodwill that extends far beyond you. The ripple effect also works in the opposite direction, which is why it's so important to act with intention and awareness. Negative actions, whether it's anger, neglect, or indifference, can also create ripples. A harsh word or a careless decision can discourage someone, creating waves of doubt, frustration, or pain. This isn't to suggest we need to be perfect, but it's a reminder to be mindful of the energy we bring into the world. Each choice matters because its effects extend outward. In relationships, the ripple effect is particularly evident. When you invest time, love, and care into others, the impact of those efforts doesn't stop with the people you directly touch. It multiplies. A teacher who believes in a struggling student may not only change that student's trajectory, but also inspire them to help others as they grow. A mentor who shares wisdom might influence someone who goes on to lead, innovate, or uplift a community. Each interaction carries the potential to create new ripples. The ripple effect also operates on a larger scale. Movements, revolutions, and cultural shifts often start with one person or a small group of people taking action. Their courage inspires others, building momentum until the ripples become waves of transformation. Think of individuals who dared to challenge injustice or envision a better future. Their initial efforts, though seemingly small, created ripples that changed history. This principle applies to acts of service and kindness as well. Giving back to your community, sharing resources, or simply showing compassion can have effects that spread far beyond what you see. A single act of generosity can inspire others to give, creating a ripple of support that grows and sustains entire networks of people. The impact of these actions isn't just measured in the immediate outcome, it's measured in the lives touched and the values passed on. But the beauty of the ripple effect is that it reminds us of our power. Even when we feel small or insignificant, our actions matter. Every choice, every word, every gesture has the potential to create ripples. It's a call to action, a challenge to live intentionally and to recognize the influence we hold. It's about realizing that you don't have to do something extraordinary to make a difference. Sometimes the most ordinary acts create the most extraordinary ripples. The ripple effect is also a lesson in hope. In times of uncertainty or doubt, it's easy to feel like what we do doesn't matter. But the ripple effect shows us that every effort counts. Even when the results aren't immediate or visible, they exist. That effort you put into helping someone, standing up for what's right, or pursuing a goal sends out ripples that can shape the future in ways you may never fully understand. Ultimately, the ripple effect is a reminder that we are all connected. Our lives don't exist in isolation, they intertwine with the lives of others in countless ways. The energy we put into the world, positive or negative, affects more than just us. It influences the people around us, who in turn influence others. This interconnectedness gives each of us the power and responsibility to create ripples that uplift, inspire, and transform. So as you move through life, remember the ripples you create. Act with purpose, kindness, and integrity, knowing that what you do today can shape the world for years to come. Even the smallest actions can lead to waves of change. And in the end, those ripples may become your legacy, a testament to the impact of a life well lived. Every journey, every story, and every principle we live by ultimately converges at a single point: the legacy we leave behind. Our lives are composed of choices, actions, and beliefs, and the culmination of these defines not just who we are, but also the impact we have on the world. A life well lived is one guided by vision, fueled by gratitude, disciplined by action, and enriched by our connection to others. It's a life that embraces failure as a teacher, fear as a challenge, and kindness as a powerful tool for change. As you reflect on the principles that guide you, recognize the extraordinary power of intentional living. Life is not about perfection or constant success. It's about persistence, growth, and the willingness to show up every day for the things that matter. It's about understanding that your vision is the map, but your actions are the steps that take you there. It's about knowing that every failure contains a seed of wisdom, and that fear is not a wall but a door to the next chapter of your growth. The greatest achievements in life are often not the ones that can be measured in accolades, wealth, or recognition. They are found in the lives you touch, the lessons you learn, and the contributions you make. They are in the ripples you create, the challenges you overcome, and the people you lift along the way. The value of your life is not determined solely by what you accomplish for yourself, but by what you inspire and enable others to achieve. At the core of it all is purpose. A life driven by purpose is a life that transcends the superficial. Purpose anchors you in the midst of uncertainty and motivates you when the path is steep. It helps you see beyond the obstacles and into the possibilities. Purpose reminds you that every action, no matter how small, has meaning when aligned with your values and vision. Gratitude amplifies this purpose, providing the energy to keep going and the perspective to appreciate the journey. Discipline keeps you grounded, turning dreams into plans and plans into realities. The courage to confront fear and learn from failure strengthens your resolve, while the choice to lift others ensures that your success is shared and multiplied. In the end, life is not about the applause, it's about the echoes you leave behind. It's about knowing that you made a difference, that you gave more than you took, and that you lived in alignment with your highest values. When you look back, the moments that will matter most are not the times you stood on a pedestal, but the times you stood beside someone who needed you. Not the dreams you imagined, but the ones you dared to pursue. Not the fears you avoided, but the ones you faced. The conclusion of a life well lived is not an ending, it's a beginning. The ripples you've created continue long after you're gone. They exist in the lives you've touched, the inspiration you've sparked, and the lessons you've shared. Your journey becomes a part of the greater story, a story of humanity striving for connection, meaning, and progress. So live with intention, act with courage, love with abundance. And remember, the small daily choices you make are what shape the legacy you leave behind. Life is fleeting, but the impact of a purposeful life is eternal. In conclusion, the principles we've explored today, faith, discipline, lifting others, overcoming fear, learning from failure, and the power of gratitude are not just words or ideals, they are the building blocks of a life that makes a lasting impact. Each of these principles calls us to live with intention, to act with purpose, and to embrace the challenges and opportunities that come our way. It's in the small, consistent actions we take each day that our vision becomes reality, that our dreams move from possibility to achievement. We've learned that vision alone isn't enough, it's action that brings it to life. That gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a force that propels us forward. And that failure, rather than something to be feared, is simply a lesson in disguise, shaping us into the people we are meant to become. We've seen that when we lift others, we also lift ourselves, and that our own journey is intricately connected to those around us. Ultimately, life is about the ripples we create, the legacy we leave in the lives of others, and in the choices we make. The power of our actions, no matter how small, extends far beyond us, shaping the world in ways we may never fully understand. So as you move forward, remember that you have the power to shape your own path, to inspire those around you, and create a life that reflects the principles of faith, discipline, gratitude, and purpose. And live each day with intention. Take action on your dreams. Lift others as you climb. Embrace failure as a teacher, and always carry gratitude as your fuel. Because in the end, it's not just about what you accomplish, it's about who you become along the way and the positive impact you leave behind. That is the true measure of a life well lived.